Begin.
Meteor strike!
Yo, this is Cissia, and she's going to be the newest character in ZZZ. Now, a lot of people I know probably planning on skipping Cissia, and I don't blame you because she has a very weird space in Zenless with her role that she's coming out being a electric attacker when you already have a bunch of electric attackers, and she's more on the supportive side than DPS, or more of like a sub DPS. You could say like supporting DPS in that type of regard. But this video actually wants to talk about Cissia as a main DPS because I will be personally going for Cissia and I want to build her as a main DPS. So I'm going to be talking about how you can maximize Cissia without having seed at all, because I know there are probably a lot of people that are like, oh my god, hot snake girl, you know, gotta pull her, but she's actually like a combo teammate for seed. What if I don't have seed or I don't want seed, you know? I got you. That's what we're going to be talking about today. First of all, let's get straight into it. You know, talk about the basic stuff you need to know, gear and stuff like that. It's very simple for Cissia here, if I can find her. So Cissia here has very, I guess, unique mechanic on her stacking system that she uses, and she does like these Doomfist ults in the middle of the fight. You see it in the intro. New Overwatch character Cissia. Holy, it is. Yeah, so that's how her main gameplay loop pretty much cycles around. It's not very hard. I'll explain that later as well, so you can know how to play her. Going on skills, you need her basic attack, her skill, and her ultimate as usual. She does a lot of days also, so make sure you're getting these up to level 11 at least. If you really like her, get her up to level 12. Obviously, make sure you're leveling up your core as well. Her core needs a stun character or some of the same attribute in order to get the crit damage bonus. It is 40 crit damage, and then she gives herself an additional 10, so that's 50 crit damage. In combat, she gives herself 18 free crit rate off of Corrode Bone, which is pretty much her basic attack mechanic. You're going to have 100% uptime on this in a fight after the first proc of it. So overall, you're going to be getting 18 free crit. If you have her signature weapon, you're going to be getting 43 free crit because her signature's crit is in the substat, so it's not going to show up until in combat. I feel like they should show these in combat. I don't know. Like if it's a stat boost, they should show it, or out of combat, I mean. But yeah, and for disc, you're going to be going either Dawn's Bloom or Astral Voice. Now, Astral Voice is more supporting. When I've been playing Cissia a lot, the damage definitely is different between Astral and Dawn's Bloom. She does more damage on Dawn's Bloom for sure. But if you're like supporting Seed and you want to focus all of your damage into Seed, Astral Voice has very good uptime because she has a quick assist on her EX. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Going back to equipment here, energy regen is very good for her on slot 6 because she converts energy regen into electric damage shred, and it helps her venom and corrode bone. So that is what you're going to be going on slot 6 here. Slot 5, I personally have seen attack percent do better, but maybe it's because of the buffs. Electric damage probably still has a, you know, place to shine as well. But me personally, I've been seeing attack percent shine higher. And then on your slot 4, you can go crit rate or crit damage. Maybe crit rate if you're not going for a signature weapon. I definitely recommend going for a signature weapon if you're not going for seed because of the big crit boost and the extra defense ignore. If you have her weapon and you're in combat with like let's trigger or something, you're ignoring like 70, it's like 6% of the enemy, or 78% of the enemy's defense, which is kind of crazy. If you don't have trigger, you're at like 50%, I think, defense ignore, which is kind of insane. It's just like base from Cissia with her signature. If you don't have her signature, then you just have the 25% defense shred. It's still very high. I wish it wasn't only electric damage bonus. I feel like she wouldn't even be that much stronger, like without it being... It feels like they really want her to be only electric supporting, or you play her as an electric DPS. Like they really didn't want her to be too versatile or become too OP in the future or something. But like, I feel like that would never happen. I don't know. Like, there's Sandby. Sandby's gotten buffed. Sandby's very good right now. Sandby's a full team for her. And then there's Cissia, who comes out and she's like in this very weird place where she's like, you don't really need Cissia, but like if you're getting her, she kind of does, like, her electric shred is very unique, but only so many people really need that, you know? So that's what I was talking about, how we're going to be focusing on playing her as a DPS. But yeah, that is what you need to know about Cissia. Now, playing Cissia, so Cissia here, let me move the camera, has these venom stacks that she uses as her main like resource meter, whichever you want to call it, and she has a bunch of ways of getting this venom. So she has doing her basic attack up to combo 4 here. That is going to give you venom, as you can see. She has venom from doing her EX, that is going to give you 3, but there's also, you can hold it down, which is going to give you extra venom for every 20 energy that you consume. And then if you stun the enemy, doing basic attacks is also going to give you venom. Every time you do your Doomfist ult, you are going to use all of the venom, and her ultimate also gives 3 venom. So most things give about 3 venom for reference. And like I said, going into your slam will use all of your venom, you know, your Doomfist ult. Meteor Strike, Cissia Strike. Oh, and lastly, if you're playing with Astra, if you do a chain attack, chain attacks also give her 3 venom as well. When you go into a stun on an enemy, while you're doing your Doomfist attack, you're actually able to manual chain it and then go into Cissia again and then manual chain it. Obviously, this enemy can't be stunned 3 times. Surely ZZ eventually is going to add one into the training room. I don't know how we don't have one yet. All right, and lastly, before going into some deadly assault clears, we have some Cissia teams. She doesn't have that much teams, I'm not gonna lie, as she is very dedicated to electric, but she doesn't even work with all of the electric characters, like in terms of like best in slot. Obviously, you could probably make it work with them, but you know, it might be a little scuffed here and there. Mainly, you are playing her with Seed or playing her as a main DPS by herself. So I have Cissia, Dylan, and Astra, or Cissia, Trigger, and Astra have been the strongest solo DPS teams. Also, there's this team down here of Yuzaha. This team actually performs pretty well against Sweeper. If you're not playing against Sweeper, I wouldn't play Yuzaha unless you're just using her for the attack buff, because you can still use Yuzaha as a support outside of Anomaly, but she doesn't do as much, you know. That's just something to keep in mind. And then on the side here, we have the Seed teams, and then, you know, this little sneak on the Anton team. I mean, realistically, this is probably one of Anton's best teams, because Anton really wants quick assist. You have quick assist from Cissia into Anton, and you have Trigger back quick assist into Anton. So this is a team for Anton players. If you're Anton, hey, if you're Anton gamer, this is an extra team for you. Yeah, I don't play Anton though, so I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the strength of this team. I mean, it can't be that bad unless Anton is dragging it down super hard. Yeah, but Seed, Dylan, Cissia, Seed, Astra, Cissia, you know, you can also slot in Astra for Nicole. You can still play other stunners like Lycon, Jafufu, and stuff. They're just going to be less valuable. And yeah, that's about it for teams. If you have some crazy team that I haven't thought of, let me know in the comments, but this is pretty much the teams. You know, 6 solid teams.
you better love me.